As an apology for not doing an X-Men Origins Wolverine review this weekend due to technical issues, I'm deciding to do something a little more interesting. I'm going to talk about the only thing I really cared about coming out of the movie, the possibility of a Deadpool spin-off. Let me just quickly say that I did enjoy Wolverine overall. It wasn't great, and it wasn't on the level of superhero movies such as Iron Man or The Dark Knight, but it was a fun action flick, but it wasn't anything particularly special. Especially because they just juggled. It was basically a series of character encounters, much like a video game. And the story didn't have much coherence at all. When we usually think of superheroes, we usually think of the all-American nice guy like Superman or Spider-Man. And they're generally just good people, but they tend to be very bland, especially Superman. They're just too nice. Sometimes you just want a superhero or somebody, but just a little more attitude to him. You want someone that would take Clark Kent and slap him upside his head and say, "Dude, loosen up." Ah, here's our savior. In the early 90s, this character known as Deadpool was created. He was an amazing fighter and also had the same powers as Wolverine in terms of the healing. But also, he has a very snarky, self-aware attitude. He's constantly making pop culture references and just throwing jokes wherever he goes. And this is his trademark character trait, and that's why they call him the Merc with the Mouth. He's also notorious for breaking the fourth wall, meaning that he's very self-aware. He knows he's in a comic book and or a movie, and he talks to the audience and addresses them on a regular basis. Now, I have to admit, I'm no expert on Deadpool, but when I heard Ryan Reynolds was going to be cast as Deadpool, I nearly flipped. This is probably one of the most amazing cast choices I've ever heard. I mean, he is perfect. I don't think anybody even said a peep about him possibly being bad. I mean, he's got this voice that is just perfect for the character. And whenever I see the character, I always picture him with this voice. And he's mentioned this a couple times. Deadpool has actually said that he looks like Ryan Reynolds under the mask. So, he was just an amazing choice for this role. So when I was watching the first 10-15 minutes of the film that Deadpool was in, I was spot on. This dude is amazing as Deadpool. He's got that perfect attitude, as I was mentioning earlier, and he was just everything that I said he was going to be previously. And I was like, gee, I hope this guy's a big role in the movie, because I'd heard that they shoved so many characters to the side. I hope they don't do it with this character, because this is, like, amazing. Then he disappeared for the rest of the movie. Just poof, out of nowhere, he was gone. And then when I was reading about this film, I heard that there was going to be the climax was going to deal with Deadpool. So I'm like, okay, he can go away for the rest of the film. It's not going to be a huge deal. It's not like they're going to totally ruin the character and turn him into something he's not or anything. And then he finally made his grand return, where his mouth was sewn shut. You do not call a character the Merc with the Mouth when he will not have a mouth in the final scene. Not to mention, he just turned into the generic big boss henchman character and had nothing to do with the original Ryan Reynolds character if he didn't have the same face. I mean, I'm beating a dead horse here. I know this pissed a lot of fans off, but after waiting for months and months to see how great Ryan Reynolds was going to be, and to see how great he was in the first 15 minutes, to have his performance butchered by this, just whatever this is, pissed me off. So walking out of the film, I really wanted to see a Deadpool spinoff, but I wasn't really quite sure how they would do it, considering they pretty much just butchered him in this movie, and even if they hinted at it in that special clue secret ending thing. So let's talk a little bit about how they would make a successful Deadpool spinoff. First, bring Ryan back. He was perfect as Wade Wilson, and he will be perfect in the spinoff, because he is not the problem with what they did in the movie. You can tell he was even pissed off when you saw him in interviews. He was trying to make up excuses for the movie, like, oh yeah, they just changed the continuity so it could fit in the Wolverine universe. You can almost see him shaking in anger, like he just wanted to grab the cameraman and say, "Screw you, Fox! I hate you! You screwed over my character! I'm leaving you now. Goodbye." So yeah, bring Ryan back. Now we have to get a director that actually understands how to blend action and comedy without overdoing either one. Personally, I think Sam Raimi would be perfect for this task. He can direct amazing action sequences, just like the Spider-Man movies. He can deal with character, and he can create amazing comedy. I hear the Evil Dead movies are awesome. So I think he would probably be the preferred choice. Or you could bring back Bryan Singer, but I think he's a little too serious for this movie. You need to have someone with more of a sense of humor. Third, this would have to be a hard R. No more of this cutting people and having them just fall down. This movie needs to be bloody as hell, gloriously hilarious, cuss-filled amazingness that just, it can't pull any punches. And don't worry about making this for kids. Kids don't know this character, and they won't relate to it. It's a person who goes around killing people, making snide pop culture references. It does not need to be for kids. And as long as you make it as faithful as possible, the comic book fans will come, and the movie will be a great success. And make sure it's not distributed by 20th Century Fox. They have ruined countless franchises because of their inexplicable ability to interfere and make all their movies as sugar-coated and for kids as possible. And we do not want that with our Deadpool movie, as recently mentioned. Go to Sony Pictures or Warner Brothers. They'll make it right. If all these elements are incorporated correctly, Deadpool could be an amazing rejuvenation of the superhero genre. It could take the genre, smash it on its face, and then cut it off. It would just be a total wake-up call. And it's not going to be one of those stupid Jason Friedberg, Aaron Seltzer spoofs. If we get the proper people behind this, this could be just a total self-referential, and it could be a classic. It could go down in history as one of the funniest and most action-packed, best action comedies of all time. So make Deadpool right.